Hi there. If you teach pre-entry classes, basic ESOL literacy groups, and you spend a huge amount of time preparing, looking for material, writing your own material, planning classes, then stay tuned for some practical advice on how to cut your prep time. Okay, my name is Dave Butler. I'm a teacher and teacher trainer. I've been teaching this level pre-entry for about 20 years. I'm also the author of the Read and Write Every Day series. So I'm going to show you how you can use this series and some practical tips on planning in order to dramatically cut your prep time. Okay, because as I was saying, we can find that we spend hours and hours and hours planning. I used to spend a huge amount of time looking for material, and I would cobble together worksheets from various different places. I would then need to adapt material, um, perhaps supplement it with some of my own worksheets, and it would take hours and hours. And by the end of that, I'd be frazzled. You need a lot of energy to teach this level, so you don't want to use up all your precious energy reserves on planning for hours and hours and hours. So it's my belief that with this series now I use this series and I can plan extremely quickly. I've had some feedback from teachers who say that it's done the same for them, that they've, in the words of one teacher, got her weekend back because she was spending so much time planning. So I'm going to go through how this can help you save a lot of time. Okay, so and of course you can still supplement with your own ideas. I'm not saying that you just use the course book, but the course book's there for for most of your material. So if you get the series, no more. You won't have to spend hours and hours writing your own material because bulk of your material is in here. Okay. So the series actually involves a student's book. So the students have got all their own material. We don't need to photocopy. Um, you've also got a teacher's book, which I'll talk about in a moment, and there's a workbook. I'll refer to that. That's got homework tasks. Okay. The first step I would say is obviously, we've got a unit. So you choose a unit from the book which has a topic that you think is going to be good for your students. I'm going to show you one of the units here on free time. Okay. Um, if you have a look in the teacher's book, you've got suggested lesson plans to help you with some staging, which obviously, you don't have to follow it word for word, but it might be of help. Um, I'm going to show you a blueprint, which I suggest for a sort of classic pre-entry lesson with some reading and writing. Um, Also, at the back of the book, you've got flashcards, so you might want to use those to help you um, add to the lesson. It's got some games as well and some flashcards. So have a look at that definitely before the lesson. I personally, I also have my own kind of jotter where I write down my lesson plans for each day. They're quite brief, but what I like here is next year, if I'm teaching, or the next time I'm teaching this level again, then I can look in this book, see what I did last year, might adapt it, obviously. I might think, oh, actually, I'll change it. That didn't work so well. I'll change that. But I've got a record here of what I teach year by year. So I can go back to that for next year and adapt it. Or just if it went well, I could just use it as it was. But I've got my lesson plan there. Um, so so I've looked at the teacher's book. I've got the material from the student's book. Um, And the next thing also is using the series, there are free PowerPoint slides, which I'll show you. Here we go. So we're going to esolbooks.com. And for each unit, you can download a set of PowerPoint slides for each lesson in the book. Okay. So if I go to books here, read and write every day, then I go down to extra resources. And you've got two things here which are of use. You've got the PowerPoint slides for each unit. You've also got Kahoot games, links to Kahoot games and I'll make another video about the Kahoots. Go to PowerPoint. We've got the audio there as well. Look, go to PowerPoint, and we're going to Unit 2, which is about free time and hobbies. Download there. And can you see in the corner there? It's downloading. It downloads a folder with all the documents in. There, look. And that then you can save to your computer. I have them in college, and then when I go to my interactive whiteboard, they're just waiting for me there, and I can open them and use them in class. It makes life super, super easy. I'm going to show you actually the PowerPoint slides I downloaded earlier. Uh, yeah, so I'm going to show you a go up here. Yeah, so these are PowerPoint slides for the reading and writing part from this unit. So you've got some of this is from the book. So you've the students are going to read this text aloud. That's there, so I can show that on the whiteboard and we can read it aloud together. Um, so some of it is pages and tasks from the book, but there are extra slides with, for example, pictures which you can use. I'm going to be using this as the pre-reading task, these pictures. Okay, and that's all there for you. So that's saving you hours of prep time because I've made these slides and they're ready and they're free and you download them and you're ready to go. Okay, so um, I'll come back. Well, I'm going to show you certain slides um, from. Hold on. Yeah, I'll show you some slides for this lesson. But the next tip I have, Lou, to help you save, dramatically save prep time, cut your prep time, sorry, is to learn a blueprint for, a lot of lessons this for this level, we're going to help students with reading and writing. They need help with literacy. So it's a classic reading and writing lesson. I'm going to be mentioning some techniques here, which I've also explained in more detail in two other videos on the channel: how to help students with reading, how to help students with writing. So I'm not going into major detail about this here because you can go to those videos, but I'm going to refer to the blueprint because if you can learn this blueprint, then you can apply it to a lot of pre-entry lessons, and then you get used to the blueprint. The students like it. It's effective lessons for students, but with a formula that you can use again and again to help students. So, going to refer to this blueprint, um, and the blueprint involves uh, before, whoops, before reading tasks, pre-reading, tasks while reading, and tasks after reading. Okay, and with some variation, but pretty much I follow that formula for a sort of classic reading and writing lesson. Using the slides. So, and obviously the students are using the book. So, before reading, use the slides with some pictures, vocabulary work, um, lots of speaking, because students at this level tend to be better at speaking than reading and writing. And also, it improves the atmosphere, builds some rapport, energizes the students, gets them into the topic, and a pre-reading task, which I'll show you in a moment. So, yeah, get the students chatting early on in the lesson. So, in this class, we're going to speak about free time, something you like, you don't like, give the students some examples. I like football, I like TV, I like cooking, tell them a few things you like, and then straight away you can get them into pairs. What do you like? Tell each other, get them into pairs or threes. I like, and get them chatting. Just get them in straight into a task very early on. I also like to do some vocabulary, and this is in the book here. Um, and I'll show you the PowerPoint slide actually for this one because hold on a second. I'll need to open this one, but it should be easy because it should all be on my computer. So that in the book here we've got some vocabulary that the students can learn about free time and hobbies. Um, if I go to bear with me for 1 minute and I'm going to open the PowerPoint slides for. This is a nice thing I like here. You can have literally, I've got all the PowerPoint slides on my computer. So it's very easy to open these up. Should be here for me, I think. So I'm just opening that now and then I'll share it with you. Yeah. So this vocabulary you can do through the PowerPoint slides, or the teacher's book has flashcards. You can use either. But if if you don't have the flashcards to hand and you've got the PowerPoint slides ready, look, you can just show images on the screen. Okay. So you can have these images on the screen and get the students straight into pairs. What can you see here? And cover I like to do the vocabulary orally because it plays to the students' strengths. Get them straight into that, get them, and they can learn this vocabulary, um, helps them before they do some more reading. And as I said, you can do it orally with the pictures. And then in the book, you've got some extra work on spelling, and they can use phonics to write down the initial sounds here. Okay, which I'll show you actually. The PowerPoint slides they don't have absolutely everything from the student's book, but it's enough to help you um, set a task, to give instructions for a task, and to give feedback on a task. So I am going back to just a moment. That's that. Yeah, so this is a good example that they fill in the gaps here with the first letter of the word after you've clarified the vocabulary orally. Okay. So one more task before the students read, a pre-reading task. So again, you can use the slides. You've got pictures here. Ask the students, what can you see? And then you can do a kind of interactive open class stage where you elicit some of this information about Hong, who is the student they're going to read about. So you can tell them, oh, look, her name is Hong. Make it interactive. What does she like? What does she like? She likes TikTok, she likes the gym, she likes shopping, she likes her friends. And you've given them quite a lot of information there about what they're going to read in the text. Check my other video, How to Help Students with Reading, about the rationale, more about the rationale. But what I'm trying to focus on here is how you can use these slides and very quickly plan a lesson. Because I remember, as I said earlier, I remember how long it used to take me planning these. I think with these slides, with the material, you can save yourself a whole lot of pain and just plan this very quickly, this lesson. Okay, so on to while reading, part of the blueprint. And this is going to involve reading aloud, phonics, and comprehension tasks. So you've got this material is in the book and you've got a slide so you can read it aloud with the students. Check the How to Help Students with Reading for more details on the whole process. But you can see how quickly you can get your lesson planned here. Comprehension tasks in the book. You can have these slides to set the task, to give feedback. I've got a yes or no, true or false, basically there. Okay. After reading, okay, that's a mistake in a slide there. Forget that slide. Continuing with while reading. Sorry, we've also got some phonics work. So you've got slides here. I use this slide, help students with phonics. Check the video, as I said before, how to help students with reading, and it focuses on that. I'm going to produce more videos specifically on phonics, I think. So that will be mentioned in more videos. But to how to use this slide with the numbers, go to the how to help students with reading video. Okay. On to after reading. So more speaking, and they can repeat the task from earlier. What do you like doing? And they've learned some vocabulary now to help them with this task a little bit more. If you think, oh, they've already done this, change the partners and freshen it up a bit, or do a mingle. Works very nice as a mingle. Yeah, get the students up and moving around, energizes the class a bit, and they tell each other again, what do you like doing in your free time? We're going to do some writing, and I'll show you that in a moment. And that's the main state. That's the main aim really for this after reading phase. More some writing, some personalized writing. So as I said, more speaking, which and the speaking is going to lead into this personalized writing. There's a YouTube video on the channel about how to help students with writing for more detail on this, but I'm just showing you this is all part of the blueprint, yeah? It's all part of the blueprint and it's all in the book. So the book is geared towards this personalized writing task as well as the reading practice. Okay. So it's all done for you in the book. You just need to um, make your own little plan so you know exactly what you're doing. But you can use this blueprint and use this material. So for the preparation for writing in the book, you've got a gap fill. Okay, so we're just sort of building slowly towards the writing phase, but it's all in the book. You've got all the slides, and we do a look say cover. Okay, words they're going to use in the writing task in the look say cover. Okay, then they do the personalized writing, write about what you like doing in your free time. And as I said, go to the YouTube video that I've already made on how to help students with their writing and how to build that lesson. More detail on that. Okay. Also here you've got in the student's book, in the workbook, sorry, the workbook has homework tasks linked to the work done in the student's book. And I'll make another video on this, but basically, the end of your lesson, set some homework, okay? And as I said, you won't need to plan, you won't need to write any material. I used to have to write material thinking I've got to give them homework. It's all in here. So you just set the homework. And this also helps you plan your next lesson because I always start with checking this homework in class. So that's 15 to 20 minutes often at the start of the next class. 10, 15 minutes probably more accurate. Okay. Right, so I'm coming to the end of this video. Hopefully, I'm hoping I have given you a kind of blueprint and clarified how that this series and the PowerPoint slides can really help you to massively cut prep time. So you can go into class with more energy, still with a really solid lesson plan and really good material, but without having spent hours and hours of energy draining time writing material, looking for material, writing lesson plans, photocopying, etc. Okay. The For this series, if you're interested, go to the website and you can see details on how to order. You can get discounts of up to 25% if you order in bulk. Plus, we can arrange a free webinar for your team if you order this book, if you order a series, if you order more than 10 books. Okay. More videos are in the pipeline. Okay. If you have any comments on this video, please add them below. If you have ideas for other videos, one moment. If you have ideas for other videos for this channel, then add them to the comments. And see you soon in another video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.